right, guys, what is up? Welcome to Inside the LPGA podcast. Thank you so much for listening, for tuning in, for watching, however you are watching. I'm just glad you guys are here. I am Hope Barnett. I'm a reporter and host for the LPGA Tour. And look who we have here. My people, my friends, my co-hosts, Adam Stanley and Emma Talley. We are in Paris this week. Well, we're not in Paris.
Wait, we're in Paris right now?
We're not in Paris.
I'm not in Paris.
But bonjour. God, I wish I was in Paris. I'm not going to lie. I want to be there. I'm jealous of everybody there. But Emma, I know you just got home last night. You have had a busy few weeks. How's it going over there?
Shaka. I am tired, people, but I'm home finally after being on the road for a month. And I'm good at golf again. Let's go.
Let's go.
The pod
Check those
brought
stats.
me back.
Let's go. That's what I like to hear. That's right.
Yeah.
No, Emma, you had a great finish in Portland. That was so fun to watch. We love to see it. And you've always been good at golf. You just needed a little refresher. Yeah, a little jab in and you're good to go. Yeah. Adam, where are you in the world?
I am currently at the Royal Montreal Golf Club, just outside of Montreal, Quebec. So there's a bit of a French connection here for our podcast today. Un petit peu de connexion de français, if you will.
Ooh,
but I am here because the President's Cup, not as Solheim Cup, obviously. President's Cup is it's still happening. It's happening. So it's happening here in Montreal in September. So they have their media day today at the golf club. So I'm here for a little bit, doing a couple things and playing some golf myself. So looking forward to a nice day. And it's already August. That was going to be one quick thing I was going to say. I can't believe that the summertime has accelerated as fast as it has. I can't believe the Olympic golf competition is happening this week, and everything else is just kind of around the corner. And it's all been going quick, but everything's good.
It has been going very quick. I actually cannot believe it's August. I looked down at the calendar the other day and I was like, tomorrow's August 1st. How did we get here? But I'm not mad about it. It is really hot in Texas and Florida. So I can't lie. I love the fall. So I can't wait for some fall football and those cool temperatures. So I am happy about it. But thank you guys for joining me as always. Like we've already kind of touched on a little bit, it is the Olympics week. It is the day we've all been waiting for so long. I cannot wait for this tournament to get underway. And if people who are listening or watching don't know, the Women's Olympics tournament actually gets started on Wednesday rather than Thursday like normal tournaments usually do. So before we get into that, let's quickly do our Slays of the Week. Adam, kick us off.
Okay, we're going to talk more about this a little bit later on real quick, but I got to give my Slay of the Week. It has to be Scotty Scheffler, just the way that he finished the men's Olympic golf competition, shoots a 9 under 62, ties the course record. John Rahm was leading by 4 when he made the turn. Scotty Scheffler made 6 birdies on his back 9, accelerated, sprinted up the leaderboard, and won that gold medal out of all of the performances. I know there's been just world class on so many stages, so many athletes, so many different things. But for us to kind of bear witness to see what he did, considering everything he's done already this season, Slay of the Week, Scotty Scheffler. Unbelievable.
That's a good slay. Emma?
Me, myself, and I mean...
Period.
The Canadian Open, guys, was 2 weeks ago, and...
Yes, it was.
I thought I was going to just be a little... MC that week for the Pro-Am party. I was going to do some media. And little did I know, I gave away my caddy after I didn't qualify for the Monday qualifier.
Oh my god.
And then I was like, oh, now I'm first alternate. Crap. So I got the tournament director's fiance to caddy for me if I needed someone. Did not play a practice round, did not see the golf course. I only just put Patrick's notes in my book. And I went out and did the dang thing. When I got in they called me on Thursday morning and said, your tee time, it was like 7:15. They were like, You tee off at 8:28. And I was like,
Oh.
wait, what? I had like I had in my bag like with books and all my stuff. And I was like, yes,
You were
let's
ready to
go.
chill.
So I called my new friend Darren, and I was like, we're going at 8:28. And he was so cute. Like, we had the best time, and I ended up finishing tied for 39th. And then the week before that, I played well in Toledo. And then this week, just to make sure everyone knows that professional athletes are human, I was playing so good, y'all. I was no bogeys. I was just playing, playing, playing. I was in the top, I think, five at most of the time, the first two rounds. And then on number 18, y'all, I had a four putt. Who four putts for a triple? So not yeah.
Often, actually.
I looked at my K. I was like, well, we still don't have a bogey.
That's a good point.
That's a good
Just
point.
a triple.
Pad
So,
the stats.
anyways, I just love the Pacific Northwest, like the golf courses up there. I love the trees. I love the environment. It's been a fun month, and I'm excited for the rest of the season because the reshuffle just happened yesterday. So now I get to play more. So I'm excited.
Woohoo!
So
Yeah.
good. So good.
Let's go. I remember when you got into the field in Canada, I kept checking my email to see if you got in. And I don't think I ever got an email. So when I saw your name on the leaderboard, I was like, am I got in?
Yeah.
For some reason,
Let's
they
go.
just stopped doing the emails because I was waiting for the email too, and then they just
Maybe
called
because it was
me.
just so last minute. They were like, we're going to call
Yeah.
her up.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
She's here.
You're on the tee in an hour.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
exactly.
she's here.
They're like,
She
we should
emceed our
just
party
call her.
last night. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Hope, what about
well,
you?
Those are some great slays. My first quick mini slay is that I am leaving for Scotland to go on vacation in less than a week. So I'm very excited for that.
Amazing.
It's going to be fun. The week before the AIG Women's Open, I'm going to be hanging out there, traveling around with my parents, actually. So it's going to be fun. And then my big slay is obviously kind of going off of yours, Adam. The Olympics are happening, and I love the Olympics so much. I think I've said that in every podcast leading up to it. I've shed a few tears watching some people finish. I can't lie. But USA has the most gold medals right now, 79. So, like I said, go America. But that leads me in to our interview today. It is a great one. We got Albane Valenzuela, who has been there for everything. She's done the opening ceremonies. She's explored the Olympic Village. And it was a great interview. So let's roll the tape.
Yay!
All right, let's welcome Albane Valenzuela to Inside the LPGA podcast. First of all, thank you so much for joining us. I know you are very busy. You are in Paris. How is it going? Set the scene for us normies that couldn't be at the Olympics because it looks incredible.
It's incredible. I feel like everything that Paris 2024 did so far is just beyond expectations. I mean, from opening ceremonies to just going to a few events. I mean, all the venues are incredible. It's like in the middle of the city, just in the heart of it. You see all the monuments, and it's just incredible. Everyone's super happy in Paris, which does not happen all the time. And it's just such great vibes here. Super excited to be here.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you actually just told us right before this that you're staying in your bed. I didn't know that you had a place there. So how cool is that? Literally, it's a home game.
It does feel like a home game. I mean, the definition of home is always a little bit tricky for me because I actually feel like I live in a suitcase. But Paris is kind of like our European base. My mom is from here, and this is the apartment where she grew up herself.
Oh, that's so cool.
So I do have a bed here. It's like a 35-minute drive to Golf National, so it's just unbelievable. It's super nice. I can't complain.
So I've been to Paris once, and it was one of my favorite cities I've ever been to. I want to go back. I'm very jealous of everyone there right now. So I'm just living vicariously through everyone. I want to talk about the opening ceremonies because this is one of the reasons I wanted to catch up with you so bad is because you were there. You've been doing all of the things. What were they like? I know it was raining so hard, but I don't know. It kind of made it like more romantic. If that sounds weird, but how was it? Tell us how the opening ceremonies were.
Romantic would not be the word I'd describe. It's like soaked. I was like drenched by the end of it. I mean, I could just like do this with my hair, water would come out. But it was an unbelievable experience. I mean, obviously very different from walking into a stadium where you just have this like perception of the public that's a little bit more magnified, if that makes sense. But this was, I mean, a once in a lifetime opportunity. I mean, I don't think there will ever be an opening ceremony like this. And just sharing it with the rest of the Swiss athletes in the boat. I mean, we were screaming the whole time for 45 minutes. Anytime we'd see a Swiss flag, we'd just go, ole, 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 and just scream our hearts out. I mean, it was unbelievable. And you feel such a big sense of pride, and it's just unbelievable. I just, so glad I was able to do it.
Well, the reason, obviously, why you're in Paris is because you are playing golf at the Olympics. This is going to be your third time as an Olympian, which is absolutely incredible. I'm curious about the golf course and maybe the setting. Obviously, in Rio, that golf course was just built for the Olympic Games itself. It didn't really have any history, really. And then, of course, just like every other sport, the Tokyo Games were obviously impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. So this one, a lot different. A lot more stuff is happening. There's more fans. I could go on and on and on, but let's start with Le Golf National itself. What's kind of your first impressions of the course? What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable golf course. It's obviously hosted, the Ryder Cup, as well as like World Amateur Championships. I mean, it's an unbelievable golf, as well as the French Open. I got to play when I was a junior, in a few events, and even got to play a little bit, this past year, a few more times. But obviously, right now, it's in major shape. It's an incredible test of golf, and I think will be great for spectators. I mean, as you could see for the men, I mean, the amount of crowds that were there, people are just really excited to have golf here in Paris. So I'm excited to see how it will pan out for us.
The build out, maybe, as you're walking the fairways and as you see these, kind of robust, the stands and just the branding and just like the grandiose nature of just playing golf at the Olympics. What's that been like maybe for you this last day and a half or so?
It's huge. I mean, I'm the first one to say it, and I think in every single interview I've had, I've always said the Olympics are the coolest thing that's ever happened to golf. I think it's, it goes beyond all my major experiences. I mean, getting to represent your country and playing for something way bigger than your sport. I mean, this is not even about golf anymore. It's like you're an Olympian, you're representing your country, you're counting medals. I mean, I'm just like here watching my TV at home every day, rooting for Swiss people and in sports that I've never watched before. And I think the beauty of the Olympics is just so much bigger. And I think, now golfers are starting to get it, that it's really special, and we're very fortunate to be a part of it. And hopefully that will continue, in future editions. It's just the coolest thing that could happen to us.
I actually want to talk a little bit about your situation, your caddy right now, which is your brother, right? If I'm correct. I know he's been caddying for you. And I just think that's so cool that you guys get to experience this together, represent your country together. He played golf at SMU. Little Texas in there, which I love.
This again.
had to include that. But how excited are you to just be able to do that with him? And y'all have experienced everything together so far. So also, how excited is he to be able to caddy for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just awesome and so special to have my brother on the bag. I had my dad in 2016, and then my brother Alex also in 2020 in Tokyo. So now, I'm trying to keep it in the family. That's kind of how I go about
family affair.
But he's so excited. He got to do the opening ceremony with me, and that was just an amazing experience for him. And then just being in the village, the amount of like superstars you see there is unbelievable. Like from Novak Djokovic to, Rafa Nadal, and he's just going crazy. And I can see he has little stars in his eyes, and he's just having a blast. So I'm just very glad we get to share this as a family. My dad's the coach. And
love
mom
that.
is just being mom, but she's like assistant coach. That's how we call her. So it's a family business, and it's just super fun.
Oh, I love that. Who's the coolest person you've seen so far? I mean, you're pretty freaking cool, but like, is there anyone that you were just like, oh my God, I cannot believe they're right in front of me right now?
Novak. I mean, I'm always starstruck every time I see Novak Djokovic, like anywhere near. I mean, he's like time GOAT, and I think what he just did in tennis, like winning again. I mean, I had goosebumps watching that. It's just unbelievable at his age to be able to accomplish that. It's so inspiring. And then my friend Kayla Decky, I mean, she's just stellar, and I got to watch.
She's an icon.
She's an icon, a legend. But above all, she's just an incredible human being, the most humble, down-to-earth person. Like, when I'm with her, I sometimes like forget just how good she is. But I got to watch her 800 final, and it was unbelievable. I was screaming the whole time. I had goosebumps, and you kind of just realize the beast of an athlete she is, and she's just unbelievable. Her work ethic, and it's just so inspiring to catch up with her, in the Olympics. So it's really fun.
You get to see like the magic and the strength and just like the incredible nature of the human body, right? That someone like Katie can swim in that way, or Simone Biles can jump on a trampoline in that way, or you can kind of go on and on with these athletes who kind of prepare 4 years for this huge moment for their life. So that's amazing. Every week on the pod, real quick, we do this segment called the Instagram investigation. We go into the guest social media. We find a fun Instagram photo. We do a nice little throwback. But for you, we found the most appropriate throwback, your very first Instagram picture ever, right there in front of the rings in Rio.
Love it.
Take us back just to that moment. You are at the Olympics. You are an Olympian. You are wearing your country's colors. Can you even put that scene, that initial Olympic scene, into words, like how it felt as an athlete, as a just as a person, to kind of be in that moment? What was that first one like?
It was unbelievable. I mean, I was an 18-year-old amateur, so even me being there was just like wholly unexpected. I was like the last one of the Swiss athletes to qualify out of nowhere. And it was just such an incredible experience. As an amateur, I was just really just there for the thrill of the sport, having the time of my life. I did openings, I did closings. I went to track and field. I went to gymnastics. I saw Usain Bolt coming out of the cafeteria. I
took it all in.
To many great athletes, and it was just unreal. I mean, that really just gave me the understanding of what it's part to be part of the Olympic movement, and it's something that stays with you the rest of your life. I heard the other day one guy say, Olympian is not just like a 1 week thing; it's like a lifetime thing, and you can really feel that. And it's just, it was unbelievable. And ever since then, I just knew I wanted to come back.
Amazing, amazing.
So,
do you have the Olympics tattoos anywhere? Like some of the other? No tattoos.
Are you gonna get one? Do you think you'll ever get one?
I'm not really a tattoo person.
Okay,
fair enough. The obviously you're representing Switzerland. You're there as part of this country's delegation. But I have read that you're a pretty kind of global citizen as well. You talked about your mom being from France. I think your dad is Mexican, if I've read that correctly. Two-part question. Number one, how many languages do you speak?
I say 3.5.
Three and a half? What's the half?
The half is German because it's so rusty. I feel like I can understand it, but speaking it, it's like another story.
And what was like your golfing journey? Like, how did you decide? Like, I know obviously you have a degree in political science, but what was kind of the thing that prompted you to be like, this is the thing I'm going to do with my life?
I don't know what was really the moment, but I feel like golf was always an integral part of my life. I mean, my parents owned a golf course. I've never lived further than 2 miles away, actually, from a golf course.
Wow.
But golf was always just such a big part. My dad played college golf. He was a great golfer himself, and it was just always there. It was always part of the family, and I think the competitive side. I started playing small competitions when I was 8, and then I remember going to Evian at the Evian Masters, probably around that age, and just watching, Paula Kramer, the Pink Panther, walking up the second fairway, and I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
This is the best, yeah.
Yeah, like full-on pink. This is amazing. I want to be just like that. But then it was like a step-by-step process. I became Swiss when I was 14, got to play the national the junior, but I never wanted to compromise school. I think that was like the biggest thing for me is like, for as long as I still have to complete my studies, that will be my primary focus. And the day I'm ready to turn pro, I'll turn pro. And that happened my senior year of college, and I still managed to finish, my degree at Stanford and then go on tour. So far, so
awesome.
Good.
Love it.
That's amazing. I know I've heard people explain you as like, she's going to be president one day. I don't know like what country, but like we're voting for somehow.
United Nations, maybe.
Probably more something like that, but I don't think I can become president anymore. Where do I want to?
Yeah,
so
fair.
That's a lot of responsibility.
We're just going to go try to make birdies for now. Then we'll,
Yes.
I want to make birdies.
That's the game plan. speaking of game plans, what is the game plan this week heading into the Golf Nacional? Like, how do you think, I don't know, like, do you have a game plan or are you just going to go out and do your thing?
I love Scotty Scheffler just saying he wanted to have fun. And I think that's just all about
I love that.
It's just having fun, enjoying it. You know, I feel like I've worked hard to be in this position, so now it's just about trying to make the most out of it, go out with no regrets, and we'll see where it takes me. I mean, it's still a golf tournament. You have good weeks, bad weeks. It's just the nature of the game.
Yeah.
So everyone has dreams. I think the 60 players that teed up will say they all dream of a medal. I mean, how can you not when you see people stand on the podium? It just gives me goosebumps no matter what the nationality is. It's just unbelievable. So hopefully I'll be one of those 3, but if not, you know, it's still a matter of going to golf tournament, playing good golf, and having fun.
Yep, playing your sport, doing your thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I've shed a few tears since watching the Olympics. I can't
I've had
like
goosebumps. I mean, I have a photo of my arm watching Simone Biles on the floor. My hair was like all straight up. I just had goosebumps the entire time. It was just the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. And that's just Olympics. That's what it does.
Is it even crazier in person watching her?
I think everything she does is absolutely crazy. But yes, it was. I was like, how can you like triple flip in the air?
Again, we're talking about
like,
the human body that does like this wild like action, right? It's crazy.
I could not even stand on the beam if I wanted.
I could.
It's
fall
so
over.
thin. It's like this big. It's so small.
Literally the size of a foot. So
yeah,
I don't know how to do it. That's like the epitome of athletes. I just love gymnastics for it. It's on.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay, Albane, I personally have no shame. We're talking about having fun. We're talking about playing in the Olympics, but I play golf for fun. And when I do play, if I hit a bad shot in the morning, I'm taking a breakfast ball. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? So speaking of, that brings me to one of our sponsored questions, and that is with Serve Pro. So they've stepped up in a big way with this podcast because in golf, when bad shots happen, there's the mulligan ball. And when fire, water, or other damage happens, there's Serve Pro. So they know how to make it like it never even happened. And that brings me to my question to you. If you had one mulligan in life, in golf, whatever it may be, what do you think you'd be taking it for?
That's a tough one. I wish there was actually a rule in golf where you could take out the breakfast ball because my team, the first one at KPMG was damaging. And I wish there was a golf course where we could take some. I think my life has been pretty good so far. I'll probably save it for later when I actually need it.
Banking it. Love it. Amazing.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Albane, this has been fabulous. We so appreciate you taking us kind of inside the ropes, inside the village, inside the venues, giving us a little peek into Paris, and maybe we'll have to circle back and you can kind of give us all your like travel recommendations for Paris and the best place for a croissant and et cetera and et cetera. So
anytime.
Love it.
Merci for doing this for us. You know, félicitations as well.
Good job,
Thank you.
Adam.
Yes, that's 2. That's all I got. But good luck this week. I hope it goes great. Thank you again for doing this for us.
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah.
Merci à vous.
Thank you so much. Good luck this week, Albane.
Thank you guys.
All right, always great, obviously, catching up with an Olympian, and I can't wait to see everybody teed up this week. We're going to get back to that in a minute, but before we do that, we all haven't caught up in a while, y'all, and last time we caught up, we spoke with Lauren Coughlin, who, guess what? She went on to win that week. A little podcast bump is what we like to call it. That was the CPKC Women's Open in Canada. Adam, you were there. Emma, you were there. But I want to toss it to you, Adam. How amazing was that to be able to catch up with her and then see her go on to win?
Yeah, you know, a couple of quick things on Lauren. I mean, she seems so, I think given her age, her experience, like she seems so like down to earth and just kind of dialed in with kind of knowing what it was that she needed to do. And as it was happening, she kind of didn't get too kind of overwhelmed or engaged with kind of too many things. She just was like, okay, I'm locked in this battle. Like her and Heyran Rue were in the final group together for both Saturday and Sunday. So, it wasn't necessarily a match play situation, but they at least knew where each other stood. So as they were coming down kind of the back nine, obviously the big difference, Heyran really struggled coming into her final couple of holes on Sunday with, I think it was 4 bogeys all in a row. But, even with that, Lauren still needed to save pars on her own and kind of make those birdies, which she did, obviously on the penultimate hole. So, just spectacular to see her string 4 good rounds together, take one across the finish line. And yeah, obviously podcast guest, podcast winner was tremendous. And real quick, Emma, before I throw it to you, big shout out to everyone in Calgary. CPKC Women's Open is the back-to-back tournament of the year at the LPGA Tour's year-end awards. This year, CPKC Women's Open attendance record. Most people to ever attend in the 50-year history of the CPKC Women's Open happened this year in Calgary. So shout out to everyone out there. It was an awesome week. And then that week led into the Portland Classic, where, Emma, you were climbing the board Thursday, Friday, and certainly into the weekend as well. Moira Jatanagarn ends up winning that tournament, 22 under par, wins it by 2. But, Emma, tell us about the golf course. Tell us about your game as well, and just kind of what that week was like for you.
It's a great golf course. It actually reminds me a lot of the Canadian Open golf course because you have to hit the ball straight, pretty tight off the fairways. The rough wasn't as thick this year, but still, it's no fun. The scores were a bit lower because the greens were a bit softer. I think everybody was so excited to see Moira win again. She hasn't been in the winner's circle in a long time, and she's just so cute and so fun. And, I mean, I don't say this about everybody, but I do. I keep saying that about everybody on here, but she's so cute, right, Hope? She's so cute.
She is. She's so sweet, too. I'm so happy to see her win.
Yes, and her mom and her sister, the team was all there. So it was really great to see her win, and I think everybody was excited about that. As far as me, obviously I just kind of explained my weeks, but it's been coming along for a while.
Yeah. Where'd you finish, Emma?
14th.
14th. Was that your best finish on the LPGA Tour in
a year?
A year, yeah.
A year.
Amazing.
Whole year, y'all. And I think, for me, I mean, people only see, what's happened the last couple of weeks, but it's been a long journey. I got hurt last fall with a thumb. My thumbs were hurting. Got new clubs, but when I got new clubs, the golf ball, when I went to Wilshire, the ball wasn't spinning enough, so then I had to switch golf balls. I got a new coach in the off season. So it's just I didn't really feel good about my game until the spring. And then I think really going back to Epson Tour, you don't ever think about the cut. You're only thinking about winning because that's what I expect out there. And I think that mental switch was really good for me for the LPGA because for a year now I've been struggling out there, and finally for the first time the last few weeks, I'm not thinking about the cut at all, 0% thinking about winning. So I think just making those mental changes, and I knew the golf was good. So I think everyone, though, when you look at the girls on our tour, we've talked about this before, the depth is so deep on our tour, and you really don't know who's going to win every week. Yeah, there are people that are trending, but in the grand scheme of things, the golf, for the most part, there's probably 20 to 25 girls that could win. And it's the mental part of the game that kind of makes it all happen. On Saturday, I was a little nervous because I hadn't played well in a long time.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, I wasn't at all. But, Moria's been in that position before. She hasn't been in a while. So to see her kind of take it. She took it.
She won that tournament.
It was really exciting because I think that's really hard to do at times when you haven't seen your name at the top of the leaderboard in a long time.
Yeah. I mean, it'd been 3 years since she won, and her last win was at the Dow Championship with her sister. So she hadn't done it on her own in years. So I thought it was really cool to see her back in the winner's circle. And I think every day we had a 59 watch. Literally our group message was blowing up at work. Everyone was there's another 59 watch. Like it's so exciting, but it's so stressful sometimes because you're like, oh my gosh, what are these people gonna do? Like Davy Weber, and like she went off, which was really cool to see.
And Andrea,
Yeah.
and just quickly on that, Hope, like it did seem like there was, once you kind of made a run of birdies, like it seemed like that happened a lot. Like Davy did it. Andrea Lee, I think she made 6 birdies in a row
Yeah.
at one point. Like it just seemed like people got into a groove, and the next thing you know, it's like, oh my God, you're 8 under par through 13 holes or whatever it is, right? So
Like, oh gosh,
Yeah.
what's going
I
on?
birdied the last 3 and like went
Yeah.
from like 30th to 14th
Yeah.
like that. So
It's
you definitely
crazy.
can do it out there once you get like you're like, oh, the hole just got big because they're Poana greens. So
Sure.
the Poana greens are kind of tricky, but once you start seeing them go in, you're like, I got this.
I got this.
You're like, oh, this is
Amazing.
easy.
Yeah.
Well, Emma, congratulations. What
Thank
a run.
you.
What a stretch of golf, obviously. Like you mentioned, people don't see all the other stuff. They just kind of see the leaderboard and figure like, oh, she's playing good. But in order to play good, you had to kind of go through all the other stuff that you were doing
Yeah.
in the background. So here's hoping that the rest of the season treats you just as well
Thank
as the last
you.
couple of weeks. Amazing
Thanks,
to see.
guys.
Exactly.
Podcast
Yeah.
team. Playing for the
Squad.
pod.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
That's it.
Before we move on, we are going to talk about the Olympics, but Adam, you're a stats guy.
Yeah.
We gotta go
Yeah.
into the KPMG Performance Insights. We've been talking about Moria and what she did last week, but can you just really break it down for us?
Yes, this week's KPMG Performance Insights really wrapped in Moira's just impressive scorecard effort. She made only 1 bogey last week, and it just so happened to be on the very last hole of the tournament. So to kind of Emma's point about make how important making birdies are in order to climb the board, obviously the bogey avoidance as well was extremely important, and Moira did that better than anybody. So entering the week in Portland, Moira had 3 bogey-free rounds just on the season as a whole. She had 3 bogey-free rounds for the week in Portland, and yeah, she was scrambling really, really well in Portland. Her scrambling percentage, 92%. On the season was only 55%. So she was able to really kind of get up and down and convert the par saves when she needed to. And her bogey or worse percentage entering the week was 18%. But in Portland, one measly percent for bogey
Yeah.
avoidance. Amazing effort.
No big deal.
So making the birdies, obviously, we talked about that a couple minutes ago. Boop, 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 up the leaderboard, but avoiding the bogeys, that was the key. And that was this week's KPMG Performance Insights.
Amazing.
Nice.
Thank you,
I think that's
Adam.
so true. Like, let me just say one thing.
Go
To
ahead.
all the amateurs, to all the junior golfers that are listening, I always tell girls and junior golfers, it's usually not how many birdies you make, but how many least mistakes you're going to make.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we all make birdies. They're going to come. But if you can eliminate the mistakes, I tell like the WKU girls that I've been helping, like, eliminate those mistakes. So like you said,
Yeah.
Adam,
Yeah.
Moria obviously did that.
Yep, she did.
Right into the winner
Popped
circle.
Off.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
But the big question is who is going to do it this week
Speaking of winner
in
circles.
Paris? Exactly, at the Olympics. This winner circle looks a little different because you can have 3 winners
You
in the
could
winner
wear
circle.
the winner circle around
technically.
your neck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a little circle. Lots of circles being talked about right now. So obviously, as people know, at the Olympics, you fight for a gold, you fight for a silver, and a bronze. And I think we should just jump straight in because it's time we talk about the Olympics, the week at hand. There's 60 players in the field. It's a little bit different than usual. And I think it's actually pretty interesting because you have some of the top players in the world. Like for Team USA, they're all in the top 15 of the Rolex rankings. And then you have some players that maybe some people haven't even heard of, or they're on a different tour. They're on the JLPGA or the LET, but that doesn't mean they can't win because they're in there for a reason. They've been playing really well in their fields and in their tournaments. So it's going to be very interesting. It's about 45 minutes outside of Paris, and it's being played at Le Golf National, where the men just finished up. And quickly, Adam, tell us really quick. We don't want to talk too
No.
much about the men, but tell us who medaled there.
So Scotty Scheffler won gold. Go USA, go. Tommy Fleetwood from Great Britain, he won
go.
silver. And then Hideki Matsuyama from Japan, he won bronze. Hideki, shout out to him. Obviously, he was in that 7-man playoff in Japan to try to win a bronze medal a couple years ago. Didn't end up doing it, but got the medal this time around. So Scheffler, Fleetwood, and Hideki Matsuyama were the medalists on the men's side. And I think, Hope, real quick, just to kind of like push us along on the actual competition side of things, one of the coolest things that I think was said about the Olympics that is very different than every week in and week out on the LPGA Tour, PGA Tour, whatever it is. Rory McIlroy was also part of that 7-man playoff a bunch of years ago, and he's like, I have never worked so hard to try to finish third in my life.
Right.
He says,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's the same with the women this week. It's podium or bust. So you're going to see some really unique golf in order to try to get one of those top 3 finishes because, arguably, gold is gold, but arguably finishing fourth is the same as finishing in last. So you might as well shoot for a medal, which I think makes this tournament, so much more interesting than a lot of people maybe are giving credit for. A lot of juice this week.
I just want to quickly go over what happened in 2021, which was the 2020 Tokyo Games. It was played in 2021, obviously, because of the pandemic. We already chatted about it a little bit with Albane, but it was Nelly Korda who got the gold. It was Monet Anami who got the silver, and Lydia Ko who won the bronze. And I think something to kind of think about there is like Monet Anami, many people in the US hadn't heard of her yet. Now she's on tour and everything, but it's just one of those weeks where you just don't know what's going to happen, and we've talked a lot about representing your country and how amazing that is. I think this, to me personally, the Olympics is at the top of that level. You're representing your country and you're the best of the best. So Emma, I mean, what would it mean to you to be able to do that? How crazy is that to be able to go and wear your country's colors on a stage this big?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's everyone's dreams. I remember when I turned pro, I was like, Japan, Japan, Japan.
Yeah.
So I think that everybody, that's their ultimate goal, is to play for their country on whatever, in whatever tournament that you can. I've gotten to do it 3 times on an amateur level, and it was amazing because, like I said before, they don't just say Emma Talley from Princeton, Kentucky. They say from the United States of America, Emma Talley, and it gives you chills, and it's just an incredible experience. And so I can't even imagine what it feels like to be over there. It's going to be, for me, I think it's pretty interesting because all those girls are used to playing with each other, and they are so far out of Paris. I think for some the girls that have been there for a while and got to experience it all, I wonder if they feel a little different than the girls that are just flying in straight to the golf course,
Yeah, totally.
They're still going to have their countries on. They're still going to be representing their country. But I'm assuming, getting to watch Simone and watch the swimming and watch the track, and then it's your turn. That's got to jack you up a little bit. So I'm really excited for the girls that have been there for a while because I feel like they're probably a little bit, motivated, even more so because you get to see all the other athletes competing for their
Making
country.
History.
Oh,
yeah.
So cool. Dreamy. Wish I was there. Jealous, but excited for our 3 girls from America.
I know. See how they do.
Yes.
Emma, before we get into our quick 9, we're each going to pick a featured group to talk about this week. But Emma, obviously there's 60 players in the field this week. You've been inside the ropes with a lot of them, certainly in Canada, and then last week, not so much last week in Portland, but you kind of seen a lot of these people's games up close and personal over the last month or so. Who is kind of standing out for you in terms of who could take on Le Golf National, play well at Le Golf National? What are some names that we should be looking out for this week in Paris?
Yeah, I mean, I think for that golf course, the Ryder Cup was there back in 16, I think. Is that right? Our stat
18.
guy? 18.
One of those years.
And I know that golf course, it's very tight off the tee. You have to hit good golf shots off the tee box. So for me, someone like Lilia Vu or Hannah Green, these ball striker kind of players that may not hit it as far, but they hit it really straight. And both of those girls hit it plenty far. But even some of the Japanese girls that just freaking hit it on
Don't
a
miss
narrow.
fairways.
Yeah, they don't miss fairways. I think, those kind of players are going to really thrive on this golf course because I think that's why Scotty won too. Scotty has been known all year to hit the fairways. So for me, someone like Hannah Green, someone like Lilia Vu, I think they're going to really have a good time this week.
Yeah. All right. Well, you heard it here first, folks. I'm super excited, though, to see how everybody does. But before we close out and finish up, we have to do our quick 9. Adam, do you want to kick us off?
Sounds good. So we're doing something a little bit different, viewers and listeners, this week. Each of us picked a featured group, and we're going to just talk about the golfers inside of that group. That's going to be 3 times 3 times 3. We're going to be rocking and rolling. My featured
Quick
group, look at that. My featured group, my favorites this week is the group of Patty Tavatanagit from Thailand, Lynn Grant from Sweden, and Carlota Saganda from Spain.
Bombers.
For some, Lynn Grant, your ball striker, your favorite ball striker's favorite ball striker. You know, I think to Emma's point from a couple minutes ago, you know, she's just got that action, finding the fairways, hitting the green. So I like Lynn a lot this week. Patty T obviously returned to the winner's circle and has kind of revitalized, refound her game. You know, talk about global growth of golf. A gold medalist from Thailand again. You know, that would be absolutely spectacular. And for some reason, I got this Carlota Saganda feeling. Like, you think about someone who steps up on big stages. You know, obviously has done it at the Solheim Cup.
She does.
You know, just that playing for pride, playing for country. You know, we saw it with John Rahm a little bit last week. I mean, obviously he struggled on the back 9, but he said, I feel more like I disappointed my country of Spain than I disappointed myself. So I think Carlotta's got that same kind of Spanish fire to her. So Patty T, Lynn Grant, Carlota Saganda, that's my 3 for this week.
Nice. I like those, Adam. Ball striker group. Okay, I'm going next. I am picking the Hannah Green group. I think Hannah, like we've said before, Hannah is kind of this girl that has been kind of behind the Nelly scene all year, and she's just been playing such great golf. She's 3rd on CME. She played great in Portland. No, she didn't play Portland. She has played well in Portland. She played great in the Canadian Open. So I'm excited to see her. I think she's really consistent off the tee. She's a consistent ball striker. She has a lot of pride. She's an Aussie girl, like a lot of pride for her country. And I got to sit down in the practice rounds in Canada, and I sat behind her and watched her hit some balls, and she's striping it.
Yeah.
Yep. Charlie Hull is the next one in that featured group. Let's just say she's hilarious. I love her. I think she's so funny. She's fabulous in a lot of ways, but she had a little bit of an injury. I don't know exactly what, but she took a couple of weeks off. And I think, for me at least, I know this time of year for the LPGA is just kind of packed. And so for someone that just got a lot of rest, she's prepared. She's gotten to be home for a little bit. I think that that's someone that she's obviously had a great year so far. And she plays for a lot of pride as well. So I'm excited about that. And then you got Rose Zhang, who is a rookie, and I just have this feeling that she's going to get it done. I don't know why. She's kind of my pick for the week. Rose has played in several events playing for the United States, but this is her rookie year / rookie Olympian year. So I just think she's also a ball striker. She finished 6th at the Canadian Open. I think that Rose Zhang is going to be on that podium, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm saying it here.
My quick 9, I am picking the group with Lydia Ko, and I just had to pick this group because, first of all, Lydia has won a bronze and a silver medal in 2016 and in 2021. So that only leaves one medal to go, and that would be the gold. And she is still we mention this every time we talk about Lydia. She is still 1 point away from the Hall of Fame. So I think she's someone to keep an eye on. Yeah. I mean, and she's just, I think she's motivated to do it. I think she wants to get that win and get that medal and, you know, and just go out with a bang. Yeah. The next person in that group is Miyu Yamashita. I think her story is very interesting. She is not an LPGA member. She is a JLPGA superstar. She has won 11 times on the JLPGA.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, with a really good finish at KPMG Women's PGA Championship, tied for 2nd. That is the week she played her way into the Olympics. So I think that's someone to keep an eye on. And like you said, Emma, like those Japanese players hit it so straight. So I think she's someone to look out for. And in that group, the last one is Maya Stark. As we know, she has had a great year. She's had some ups and downs, mainly ups, I would say. But
Fiery.
she is so fiery and she loves her country. I know she wants it so bad. And she was at the opening ceremonies, which was really, really cool to see. So I think all three of those are people to keep an eye on. But there's our quick 9.
There we go.
That was so
There we
good,
go.
y'all. I think that we are going to have some fun this week.
I think so too. And I love a little bit of morning golf, morning sports. That's what I've been loving so much. So, speaking of that, for everyone watching or listening to this podcast, thank you for tuning in. But you are going to want to tune in and watch the Olympics to see who medals. So, the first tee time is going to be at 3 a.m. Eastern time. I don't think anyone is necessarily going to wake up for that. I don't know. Maybe you will. I don't want to doubt you. But that is the first tee time. You can watch all morning when you wake up. Turn the TV on. You're going to be able to watch on the NBC Sports app, golfchannel.com, and Peacock. There's many ways to watch. So y'all be sure to tune in. And thank you guys for watching this week. It's going to be a good week. I'm
Should be
really
fun.
excited about this. So thanks for joining me, y'all.
Y'all come back now, you hear?